Welcome to the Banana Cooler podcast. I'm your host, Banana Cooler. I wanted to talk today about the two QB class and just what happened. We know it wasn't a big expectation class. There was none of the QBs were selected in the top 10. But, just let's take a look and see, what went wrong with these guys. The quarterback position in the NFL has become so prominent and so important. It's super critical to get a great QB for your team. I mean, look at Mahomes, best QB in a long, long time. And, they're going to have a chance to three-peat this year, which hasn't been done and recently. And, I would compare the 2022 class, even though the expectations were really, really muted. It's like ordering a steak and getting, tofu. There wasn't a lot of great talents in the class, but sometimes, you can find a diamond in the rough, and I think that diamond in the rough, we all know who that is. That's Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, and the best pick so far out of the 2022 QB draft class. So, let's talk about three QBs that lost their starting gigs. So there's Desmond Ridder, who plays for the team near and dear to my heart, the Atlanta Falcons. We also have Kenny Pickett, who was the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then Sam Howell, who became the starter for the Commanders. A lot of people thought that Howell might be the savior in Washington. Didn't materialize. Had some good games, up and down, but some really strong games. Then there's my guy Ridder. The Falcons handed him the keys to the offense, and he proceeded to really throw a lot of touchdowns. Well, maybe not a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of interceptions and touchdowns. I think they were the exact same number for the year. And then the last guy is Kenny Pickett for the Steelers. The Pittsburgh made a big bet, drafting him, but he didn't pan out, and as of this afternoon, he's no longer a Steeler. So it was super, super interesting with those guys. Those are probably the main three that were, more highly touted. They didn't work out, and, I think it shows and really talks about the short leash a quarterback has when they get drafted that high now. And I think it all changed when the NFL went away from the quarterback, first round draft pick like Sam Bradford, before they had the salary cap, rookie salary cap, and Bradford I think was $80 million, hadn't played a down in the NFL, and now teams aren't as hesitant to draft a quarterback in the first round or take a chance or take a flyer on one, but we're certainly not seeing like we did in the old days. Like I could think of Steve McNair sat on the sidelines, Aaron Rodgers sat on the sidelines behind Favre, and different situations, but these guys aren't sitting on the sidelines. You got to get out there, you got to win, and we're really seeing that. Another one was Malik Willis, drafted by the Titans. He was probably the biggest raw talent in the draft. Had arm strength, absolutely. A lot of skill, absolutely. Accuracy, that guy's throws needed a GPS, and you don't get that when you're playing in the NFL. You definitely don't get enough time. So, he kind of fizzled out as well. And then, I guess not as highly touted, but Matt Corral. I think Matt Corral is playing in the United Football League, the XFL USFL merger now. So, he didn't, I don't even know if he touched the field last season. But when it all comes down to it, scouting be damned. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, he's showing, made it to the Super Bowl, had a pretty strong season by any grade. And probably would have made it to the Super Bowl last year too if he didn't get injured and the 49ers fell a little bit short. But Purdy has a lot of potential. A lot of people say he's a system quarterback, but I don't know. We'll find out if he's the real deal or not, and we'll as he progresses. But he's definitely going to have a job for longer than any of these guys have. You never know. He's been really good. He might develop into an MVP contender going forward. We'll just see what happens with the young guy, right? But a lot of emphasis, a lot of scouting put into who's the best quarterback, and we're going to be doing that again real soon in 2024, and it comes down to just a shot in the dark and them picking Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft and him being the best out of the class so far. So there you have it, the 2022 QB draft class, my take on it. Leave your comments in the comments section. I'm sure you'll have a lot of people that agree and a lot of people that don't disagree. So, or that do disagree, I should say. So, anyways, that was it. Just wanted to talk about that one as free agency continues as we head into the draft for 2024. And a cool